The first half of the PBA's 50th season was loaded with memorable moments.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
We begin the second half at Reno's historic National Bowling Stadium, the only facility of its kind dedicated solely to the sport of bowling. A venue that has seen televised 300 games, Masters championships, and victorious legends. Today, it hosts the National Bowling Stadium Championship. We kick off the second half of the season in the #1 American bowling venue as ESPN and the PBA welcome you to Reno, Nevada and the National Bowling Stadium Championship. Glad you're with us. I'm Rob Stone, and we start off 2009 strong. 3 of the top 4 in the Player of the Year points race are here, including current leader Wes Malott. But the story is the lanes. That's right, plural. The 78-lane center has been reduced to 2 lanes, but those 2 lanes could not be more different. Today, a PBA first. For more on that, we send it down lane side. My partner, Randy Peterson. Hi, Randy.
Hey, Rob, thanks very much. And Rob, we've been preaching versatility all season long, and in an unprecedented move today, the players will be competing on 2 completely different oil patterns. The left lane's going to be oiled with the shark pattern. That's the longest of our named patterns at 44 feet. The right lane will be oiled with the cheetah pattern. It's the shortest at 36 feet. The way the players will attack these 2 oil patterns, well, they're going to throw it very hard and firm on cheetah because it's very dry. Then they're going to have to switch it in the low gear and try to slow down and throw it straight and slow on the shark. Today, the players will have to be in complete control, not only physically, but mentally. Rob, this tournament takes versatility to a whole new level.
It sure does, and today's 5-man field is deep and talented. Number 5 seed Bill O'Neill makes his career-high 4th televised appearance of the season. Title #1, still waiting to be won. The lone lefty, Patrick Allen, picks up an 09 where he left off last year. Today marks his 3rd straight televised appearance. Last year's Player of the Year, Chris Barnes, thinks he's figured out his first half issues. Today he seeks career title #11. Your number 2 seed, Wes Malott, has been #1 for most of the season. The Player of the Year points leader making his 5th televised appearance in 9 tournaments this season. And #1 is #1 in career titles. 49-year-old Walter Ray Williams Jr. seeks Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title number 46. And we begin the first show of '09 with Bill O'Neill versus Patrick Allen. The winner in our stepladder format will duel number 3 seed Chris Barnes. And Bill O'Neill will roll first in match #1. O'Neill from Levittown, Pennsylvania, the righty versus the lefty Patrick Allen. O'Neill having a wonderful season, a career season so far as Patrick Allen looks on. The lefty has been on a tear as of late. This will be his 3rd straight show, but for Bill O'Neill, he opened the season with 5 straight top 9 finishes, including 2 runner-ups. 70 career events without a title. That is the 8th longest current streak. There have been several weeks where we thought for sure it's going to come to an end now. This week, though, maybe not as confident as he has to come out of the 5-hole, but it's something that can be done. Randy, you won your first title coming out of the 5-hole.
And Rob, what's interesting and what's going to play out throughout the entire day today is the higher seed in each match gets choice of starting lane and what lane that bowler will finish on. Patrick Allen is the 4 seed. It's his choice. He makes Bill O'Neill start the match, which means Bill O'Neill will finish this match on the cheetah pattern. Patrick will finish the match on shark.
Take a look at the big picture of today's matchup. And things fairly even through the course of the week here in Reno. As you see, the averages and high games almost identical.
Bill O'Neill making 3 telecasts in a row, as you mentioned earlier, and Patrick Allen not only making 3 in a row, but he's making 3 in a row here at the stadium.
Slams home the first strike of '09.
And so, Rob, you know, you ask yourself, well, why is Patrick Allen choosing to finish on shark? You would think that he would have a better look on this cheetah, but apparently not. It was his decision. He likes his look better on Shark. See how it pans out for Patrick Allen.
Come on, man. So now he's not only switching lanes, he's not only switching oil patterns, he's also switching bowling balls and mental outlooks.
Killer.
Worked just fine.
He probably knows what he's doing. And you know, the other thing, like you said, he switched to a ball. You could tell that it had a much more matted type of look to it, more sandpaper on that. Any ball that's going down the left lane, the right lane, the players are using shiny stuff, less reactive stuff. In fact, this week, Chris Barnes was even using a regular urethane bowling ball at times.
Bill O'Neill, 4th on the PBA Player of the Year points race list right now with 21. Number 1, Wes Malott, still waiting to roll. A career season for O'Neill, but it's still missing that one thing.
I feel great about the way I've bowled so far. It couldn't have gone any better, honestly. You know, a couple bad shots on TV isn't going to change the way I've bowled, you know, for 3 months. I'm going to get used to the TV. I'm going to win. It's just a matter of when.
And I think the big thing for Bill O'Neill is that he has started to figure it out here on tour and what it takes to win. He's made the necessary physical adjustments. Now all he has to do is get over that mental hurdle.
I said, you know, that second half of the season, I'm going to attack it the same way. I'm not going to let up and coast in. My goals, admittedly, though, are higher than they were in the beginning of the season due to that great start. Expectations raised from just wanting to make shows and being a part of the tour, if you will, to being one of the elite and being a television regular.
It's like being a really good golfer, and then all of a sudden you shoot 65 one day, and every time you go out to play after that, you expect to go low. Well, he's got a taste of some success, and now his mindset is, hey, I can do this on a weekly basis.
Picks up the spare, but you can tell he's less than enthused about that. Spare, strike, spare for O'Neill.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man.
Patrick Allen, Hoss from Wesley Chapel, Florida, just north of Tampa, your number 4 seed. That one didn't sound right, almost like a little double bump.
Well, he double dribbled the first ball that he threw in lane 1. This one double dribbles again. But you know, here's the issue and the dilemma that the players face when bowling on these two completely different oil patterns. Patrick gets up on the right lane, knows that he has to keep his ball speed up on the cheetah, and just overthrows it, and the ball never hooks.
Again, the right lane, the cheetah oil pattern. Left lane, shark.
I mean, Rob, it's really hard to understand just how big of a challenge it is competing on two completely different oil patterns. I mean, most every show that I've ever made, the lanes were never the same on television anyway, but this was done on purpose. And the players, you know, it was a very big challenge throughout the week. And quite honestly, it's a very difficult task to go from throwing it one way on one lane with a certain ball to completely different on another lane with a completely different ball.
Storm.
Third strike in 4 frames for Patrick Allen, and the lefty is in the early lead. We'll be back with the conclusion of O'Neill Allen from Reno.
The Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour on ESPN is brought to you by H&R Block. Go to PBA.com and sign up to win tax services for 5 years and $5,000. H&R Block. You've got people. By Lumber Liquidators. Hardwood flooring for less. By Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free video. What will you discover? Go RVing. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save 15% on your car insurance. Visit Geico.com.
We welcome you back to our continuing live coverage of the PBA on ESPN from Reno, Nevada, where for the first time in tour history, 2 different oil patterns are being used, and we break them down, and your Lumber Liquidators know the wood.
The Shark, the longest pattern we use, and the Cheetah, the shortest pattern. Right here, Bill O'Neill missing the super washout. Patrick Allen working on a strike, and look at this huge break that he gets. The ball looks like it's going to get 0. Instead, it crosses over, and he turns that good break into a double.
Now, those 2 frames happened while we were away, and now we examine what this oil is going to do to us. There's the Shark, 44 feet on the left, Cheetah on the right at 36 feet. And we're bowling through the breaks in our first 2 matches, and we're going to have gavel-to-gavel coverage, if you will, of our title match. No commercial breaks. Bill O'Neill in a hole. Gets a break. Needed that. And we saw during the commercial break, Randy, both bowlers today doing a lot of talking to themselves, a lot of staring down at the pins in the oil, and they're having some issues here figuring this stuff out. It's not just one issue like they normally have to deal with, it's 2.
Yeah, it's 2 completely different oil patterns. Right now it looks like the Cheetah's a little touchy on both sides of the lane. If you get the ball too far to the edge too quick, the ball overhooks. That time Bill O'Neill never got it there soon enough, and the ball really took its time and labored.
Get up there. After an open frame, O'Neill has responded with a 3-bagger. Pulled himself back into this one.
And you heard Patrick Allen say cash in on a good break. Well, that's exactly what Bill O'Neill did when he carried that trip 2 in the 6th. Now all of a sudden it's 3 in a row.
O'Neill sits, Patrick Allen pops up. Haas working off a spare in the 6th as he begins his 7th. Up 14. Fourth best average in the PBA so far this season for Patrick Allen, 224.25. Whoa, 7-10 me.
Boy, and it's amazing just how quick things can turn.
They always pay you back.
He gets one good break and then just pays the price right here. My opinion, this is the worst break
back, man,
because
always.
This is a pretty good shot that could strike. Instead, it leaves you with almost an impossible 7-10 split.
It's only been done 3 times on television. So now
Got the move.
both have an open frame, and for Patrick Allen, you know, he seems to find a rhythm whenever he's here in Reno lately.
I don't know what it is. You know, I bowled here a bunch of times and really never bowled that well. You know, but the last 3 years I've found a way to make the show here, and I don't think I've ever done it anywhere else. So, just trying to make the most of it.
Last season he was second here to Tommy Jones. The season before that beat Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the 07 H&R Block Classic. That was a good looking strike.
Yeah, PA's using a T-Road solid on the left lane with a lot of surface. On the right lane, he's using a razor. So 2 completely different bowling balls, 2 different manufacturers.
Come on.
He's just trying to get dialed in and overcome a horrible break in the 7th frame. Bill O'Neill looking to take advantage.
Again, all that is left for Bill O'Neill to do with this season is to win his first tour title. Ten pin shy of a ham bone.
Well, and you can see because of the 2 huge differences in the oil patterns, how farther right he's getting that ball down the lane versus what he's doing on the left lane in the Shark. I mean, on the Shark left lane, that ball doesn't get right of, say, the 9th or 10th board, but on the right lane, he's getting it all the way to the edge.
He told us he's never bowled from the 5 hole before, and he thinks, you know, this may be a good thing for me to get in the practice in the pairs and then go right to my match rather than having to sit and wait and watch and stress. Oof.
Yeah, you don't want to foul at this point in time when only trailing by 2 pins. Foundation frame, 9th frame can set up his 10th frame. He can strike out for 222. Patrick Allen going at a 204 pace.
Just barely got the head pin.
Dude. And again, that is the issue with these 2 patterns. One pattern, the cheetah, you got to throw it really hard, and then all of a sudden you've got to move to the next lane and gear down in all of about 20, 25 seconds and get your ball speed down so it'll make the turn. That shot's just a little firm.
A huge mental and physical challenge, even more so today than what these athletes normally have to face. And it's doing a number on these two. I mean, you know, we know Patrick Allen is a talker. He likes to yap to himself, but you know, the facial expressions from both of them and their reactions and their body movement, you can tell this is taxing them a little bit. Want to be untaxed on Monday? Huge basketball day on ESPN. Did you see the list? 7 Eastern, little Big East battle. Notre Dame, Louisville. Right after that, Texas, Oklahoma. A.J. Abrams taking on Blake Griffin. Big Monday presented by Bud Light on ESPN. Great hoops coming your way Monday.
Ruh-roh. There's a double for Patrick Allen, and with a strike, 9 spare in the 10th frame, Patrick Allen will seal the deal. That was if Bill O'Neill with a struck in the 9th. Right now, driver's seat. He just needs good count and a spare. He's going to be in the high 2 teens. The best Bill O'Neill can shoot 211. So 9 spare 9. 19 pins.
Again, he's finishing on the left lane, which is the Shark pattern.
Come on, man.
Yeah, Reno! That's it. That puts him in the 220s.
Yes!
And O'Neill will go another event without a title.
Find a way.
Well, you can see just
Find a way out.
some 10 boards right of where he's throwing it on the right lane.
Wow. Handball.
Good thing he got the strike when he did.
Ripped up there on the knife.
Because that is a big ugly staring him down.
Reno.com.
Patrick checking Bill O'Neill's hand. He's probably got some kind of big callus getting ready to come off. It's a little dry here in Reno.
Little?
Must be nice.
So PA will move on to take on our 3 seed, Chris Barnes. Yeah, things just not going O'Neill's way.
Yeah, he'll tape that up and be ready for next week in Medford.
Have you ever done that before?
That?
Have you ever done that before?
Huh?
Have you ever done that before?
Never in my life.
Down goes the 7. Down goes Bill O'Neill. It's been a wonderful season so far for Bill O'Neill. He's going to have many opportunities to try and get that elusive first title in his next opportunity. Next week, Lava Lanes in Medford, Oregon. The favorite stops for the tour, and O'Neal closes out.
The bullet never hooked.
The 200.
The bullet never hooked. Over there.
So he is deep for done. The lefty, PA, Haas rolls on. Up next, the reigning player of the year, Chris Barnes, to take on Patrick Allen. And when we return, we unveil the third greatest bowler in history and today's number 3 seed. That man, reigning player of the year, Chris Barnes, takes to the wood. Barnes, Allen, when we return to Reno. For the third consecutive season, the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour is back in Reno at the National Bowling Stadium. We get set to roll on with match number 2, but first, here in the 50th season of the PBA, we continue our countdown to the 50 greatest bowlers in history. Not many left, folks. This week, number 3, courtesy of Bo Burton.
At number 3 is a man considered by many to be the greatest ambassador the sport of bowling has ever known, the legendary Dick Weber. The right-hander from St. Louis started his career as a charter member of the PBA and proceeded to win 3 of the tour's first 4 events. His early success was punctuated by a career-high 5 titles in 1961. And he also collected no less than 4 BPAA All-Star victories. The PBA did not create a Player of the Year award until 1963, so Weber only earned the honor once, and that was in 1965. However, he led the tour in earnings no less than 4 times and remains the only player to have won 3 consecutive tournaments twice in his career. His final tally included 30 PBA titles and another 6 on the PBA's senior circuit. Noted for his longevity, Weber is the only player to have won PBA titles in 6 different decades. Weber, who passed away in 2005, will forever be remembered not just for his bowling accomplishments, but for the way he treated his fellow competitors and bowling fans everywhere, with the grace and class of a true champion.
Yeah, Bo Burton couldn't have said it any better. Dick was the greatest ambassador the sport has ever known. You know, Rob, he always had a smile on his face. He always had time for the fans. He was just a true gentleman. On the lanes, ferocious. Off the lanes, pure class.
And his son, Pete Weber, checked in at number 4. We have yet to see Pete on television this season. Hope that changes soon. And history could be in the making in a couple of weeks in Vegas as Norm Duke goes after an unprecedented 4th consecutive major title as the tour returns to the Red Rock Resort and Bowling Center in Vegas. Special start time of 12:30 Eastern on ESPN. That show coming your way January 25th. Take a look at the updated Stepladder bracket. Your 4th seed, Patrick Allen, moves on with that 218-200 win over Bill O'Neal, so he will take on reigning Player of the Year, Chris Barnes from Double Oak, Texas. It'll be Patrick Allen starting first on the left, which is the shark pattern.
Maybe.
That's how you start.
So, Rob, Chris Barnes had the choice of starting lane, and he chooses to have Patrick Allen start. Is it strategy, thinking that, well, Patrick didn't have as good a look on the right lane, or does Chris Barnes actually have a better look on shark? Almost identical in averages. Patrick Allen 279 high gain, Chris Barnes 290.
Barnes comes out to match Allen's strike. This is his 3rd top 10 finish of this season. Started off kind of deceptively strong this year by making the PBA World Championship, finished 2nd, but he said it was smoke and mirrors. We asked him yesterday to describe the first half of the season, and all he needed was one word: awful. As his wife Linda looks on, he said, yeah, I was fortunate to make that first show. Smoke and mirrors. I survived matches that I should have lost. He knew he wasn't throwing it well, and that's in week 1. A couple weeks ago in Buffalo, he made some pretty serious adjustments.
Well, he worked with Mark Baker, as a former PBA champion, and Mark's has really developed into a world-class coach. So he works with Mark in Buffalo, and then here at the bowling stadium, he's been working with Mike Jasno on video, and they worked on his push away and getting the ball into the swing a little bit more consistently. Chris said he's found something that he likes, and he was able to repeat better this week.
His tempo was off a little bit as well with the footwork. There's Patrick Allen. Toss goes 2 for 2 to start match number 2.
You know, and there's no traffic on PA side of the lane, and once he gets kind of locked in, now it's just a matter of mentally making sure that you're focused on the right shots you're making on each lane, and Patrick Allen's very good at getting and staying focused.
So PA goes back to the left in the shark pattern. 4 of his 7 strikes in match number 1 were on the left lane, the shark pattern. Very deliberate bowler.
One time. Baby.
3 for 3.
Patrick Allen said that the key for him this week was trying to attack both lanes with similar angles. And you know, you can do that when there's not a lot of traffic, and you can see the direction that he's playing on both lanes. It's kind of similar, even though 2 completely different areas on the lane. The other thing that Patrick Allen has going for him
Touching the head pin, it'd probably be easier strike there.
is momentum. It's hard for these guys coming in while they're waiting, they're watching a match, and then they get, you know, a couple of practice balls, and it's like getting thrown in the lion's cage.
To figure out 2 lanes.
Right. Exactly.
2 oil patterns. I mean, we've gone week in and week out with these guys like, man, what happened in this lane? What's going on over here? Now it's, all right, let's change the oil on it too, and really put your noggin to work.
Yeah, generally speaking, they get locked in fairly easily on one lane, and it's, you know, it's just the other lane that gives them a little bit of trouble. And today it could possibly be both lanes.
Kicked out. It looked wobbly. It was a little punch drunk, and somebody came in to finish it off.
What in the world just hit the 10 pin? Because whatever it was really fast. Now again, Barnes trying to use that same theory of trying to use similar angles, and look how fast the messenger comes over to just hatchet the 10 out of there.
I don't know what one that was. That wasn't the head pin. Who knows? Well, when we return, the conclusion of Barnes Allen, the winner to face the biggest and baddest in the PBA this year, Wes Malott. We welcome you back to Reno, and again, we are rolling through the commercial break, and Patrick Allen in our H&R Block second look had a perfect game rolling through 5.
Patrick Allen managing his game brilliantly. There's the 5th one. And he gets up on the right lane and almost leaves another pocket. 7-10, kicks the 7 out late. Now he's shooting at the 10 pin.
So his first spare, that in the 6th frame. So he had an opening Yahtzee, give himself a nice lead, but Chris Barnes has responded with a 3-bagger. As Barnes still sits to wait until the 7th, and you can sense some momentum from him in the commercial break. Barking, saying, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. Again, Barnes has gone strike, 9 spare, 9 spare, and then 3 strikes in a row. But Allen with 5 opening strikes, and now his first frame off a spare. We begin the 7th.
He's doing a great job of keeping the ball online and in play, and you know, it's just a matter of a little bit of carry here and there. But again, going from throwing it super hard on the right lane to trying to gear down a little bit to get your ball to read the shark pattern on the left lane. That's the task at hand for all the players today. Easier said than done, my friend. And by the way, when we bowl through commercial at 3.5 and 4.5, you don't have a lot of opportunities for your
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed.
your ham boat.
It was my first one of the year, too.
Oh, no.
He didn't like it on the release, but the result is just fine for Hoss.
Yeah, Hoss.
Back-to-back spares.
Jeez.
Patrick Allen.
Stellar.
So Barnes steps up now on the right lane with the cheetah oil pattern. An opportunity for a ham bone. He's staring something down right now.
Taking a re-rack, I think, and just trying to gather himself. Will you sit down and stop hitting me? Hey, one more of those, Rob, and Chris Barnes is going to take the lead.
Take a look at our Denny's PBA Player of the Year points list. Wes Malott, who will be rolling next from the number 2 pocket at number 1. But today's number 1 seed sits number 2, where he ended last year. On the PBA Player of the Year points list, Walter Ray Williams Jr. Loaded show today.
And Chris Barnes is in 11th. And interesting, last night when we spoke to him, he said, hey, that Player of the Year race is not out of reach yet.
Yeah, we didn't bring it up. He did.
Yes!
Shots like that, that's why.
He just took the lead, Rob.
So the lead by 1 to Barnes.
Now he's locked in. He knows what his ball reaction is going to do on both lanes. Now it's just a matter of making the shots he needs to make.
Now Patrick Allen, one of the hottest bowlers on the tour right now. This is his 3rd show in a row, similar to a string of televised appearances he had around the same time last season. Strikes him.
And PA loves battling, and as this match gets this much closer to the 10th frame, every strike PA is going to start giving it to his opponent.
PA has had at least 1 title in each of the last 5
I haven't picked
seasons.
up the ball yet.
Looking for his first this season.
Yeah.
A 3rd place finish in Cheektowaga, 4th place in Baltimore, which concluded the first half of the season. You see what the two can max out at. Advantage, Barnes by 1 for now, as we get set to begin the foundation frame.
Nice.
Patrick Allen's taking a re-rack, and he's just waiting
Way
for
to
the
go.
pins to get reset.
Horse, way to go.
Yeah, Hoss. Big strike here, setting up the 10th frame. The strike here, he can strike out for 268.
Stuff it! Stuff it in that rack! Stuff it!
I wish he could be more emotional on television. You go, Hoss!
Show some feeling.
Stuff it! Stuff it in that rack! Stuff it!
Yeah, Hoss! He didn't like the rack, asked for a second re-rack, they wouldn't give it to him.
And he stuffed it. His 7th strike. 2 in a row as he sits and waits for the 10th. Here's Barnes, though, looking to open up a 6-pack. Oh! A defiant 7.
Well, that's just an awful break. And Chris Barnes just makes a great quality shot, and he just gets just an awful break.
How did that not get hit?
The pins just went right around the 7 pin, and he could have asked for a worse time to leave a stone 7.
Oh.
Oh, no.
And now he just gave the match away.
We saw some televised issues from Barnes last season, and he admitted psychologically he wasn't the same. This is a major error.
Well, if he doesn't leave the solid 7, he probably strikes out and shuts out Patrick Allen with 269. The solid 7 led him to missing that 7 pin. The best Chris Barnes can do, 236. Patrick Allen just needs a mark in the 10th frame on the right lane, the cheetah pattern. But keep in mind, Patrick Allen already left one pocket 7-10 on that right lane and almost left another one in the 6th frame.
In match number 1, he had an open frame on the cheetah. And that was 7-10 split that he had to stare down. Two in a row. Well, you know what he's still thinking about, don't you?
Yeah,
Huge gaff in the 9th.
Yeah, it's too bad because he makes that spare and he strikes out. He forces Patrick Allen to get the first hit to beat him. Right now, again, Patrick Allen only needs any mark in good count.
Finishes strong after the blunder.
They bowled a great game except for that one shot. And unfortunately, it seems like that's happened quite a bit to Chris over the years. Let's see if Patrick Allen now can put him away. Right lane, cheetah pattern.
Come on, just like you've been doing, man. Just like you've been doing it. Come on. Come on, man. Come on.
Hoss takes down 2. 2 to go.
Well, he was saying stuff it on the left lane. Boy, did he stuff that one. That was 10 back in the pit. Watch this one here. Beautiful shot. He keeps his speed up.
All week. All week.
Did the same thing in the first game when he needed a mark. He just threw 10 back. One more puts Patrick Allen in the 260s.
Yes.
Hoss is dialed in, people. And again, the lone lefty. So those left side of those 2 lanes, all his.
Where did they get that song at?
Gee.
I didn't hear it. Did you hear it, Rob?
I don't think it was anything from this decade or the decade prior or the decade prior to that.
Good ball, man. Good ball.
So Patrick Allen moves on. A 218 in match 1, a 267 in match 2 versus Chris Barnes. So up next for him, how about the Player of the Year leader right now, Wes Malott. The Big Nasty takes to the wood versus the Hoss, Patrick Allen, when we return.
Yes!
The Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour on ESPN is brought to you by the United States Bowling Congress, ensuring the integrity and protecting the future of the sport of bowling. Bowl with us. By Prescription Flomax. By CLR. CLR. All kinds of dirty, one kind of clean. And by H&R Block. Go to PBA.com and sign up to win tax services for 5 years and $5,000. H&R Block. You've got people.
Beautiful day here in Reno. Glad you're spending part of your Sunday with us at the National Bowling Stadium alongside 13-time Tour titleist Randy Peterson. I'm Rob Stone, and this the first time in Tour history that 2 different oil patterns are being used. We break it down in your Lumber Liquidators Know the Woods segment.
Yeah, and right off the bat, the first thing that's apparent is the difference in length, and that's what creates all the hook on the cheetah. That plus the outside part of the lane on cheetah is drier. Not so on shark. That's why the players are playing more in the track area on the shark. A lot of ball speed on the right lane, slow it down on the left lane.
We are set for match number 3. And it's a good one. The lefty, Patrick Allen, your 4 seed. He's won twice already. He takes on the 2 seed with the man who's in the driver's seat for Player of the Year points race right now, the Big Nasty, Wes Malott. And the Big Nasty will step up and fire away first. There were 2 300 games this week here in Reno. Both of them bowled by the same man. You're looking at him, Wes Malott.
You know, I watched Wes Malott throw it, Rob. To me, it just looks like efficiency of motion. He's just so smooth and looks so effortless. A little bit higher average for Wes Malott. And again, as you mentioned, not 1, but 2 300 games. But remember, Patrick Allen's got all that momentum in his favor.
Allen started with a 218 in match 1, a 267 in match 2, a 49-pin positive swing. And again, starts with the strike. Like he has in the first 2 matches, and Reno has been very good to me 2 years ago at the H&R Block Classic in Reno.
Yeah, he carried that late 7 against Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Well, a win here versus Malott, and it would be a rematch of that title match as Walter Ray Williams Jr., your 1 seed, waiting in the wings.
Boy, and that late 7 that went really turned his season around, because that was the first show of the second half of the season, and prior to that, Patrick Allen's season was awful.
Feel rapid fire. Boy!
3rd game in a row, he starts with a 2-bagger.
Now he's changed balls on that left lane. He's using a 5 on the right lane on the cheetah, and he just went to a rapid fire on the left lane. Rapid fire is going to give him a little bit more back end than the T-Road solid that he was throwing in the first 2 matches. So he's seeing something, some type of transition that prompted the adjustment. Wes Malott as well, going with 2 different bowling balls.
High on that one.
Boy, you can see just how hard off the spot this ball is going to react, and how angular it is down the lane and right through the nose, leaving the 3-6-10.
Malott with the 2nd best average on tour this season, 225.96. Nice spare conversion there in the 2nd. Keep a clean game going. He's made 5 of the 9 telecasts this season.
Number 1 on the Player of the Year point race
with 34 points.
Number 2 in money.
And he was number 2 in our final event of 09 in Baltimore.
And he's also number 2 in average.
Number 1 in your hearts.
Wow.
And again, it's the adjustments lane to lane, the adrenaline that he has going coming into this championship round with the lights, the television cameras. He comes in fresh. He's really pumped up. He can throw it hard on the right lane, but he can't throw it hard on the left lane. That's what happens. The ball hydroplanes and skates. So it's like you mentioned. I talked about it in the Open. You revisited this whole thing about not only being able to control yourself or being controlled physically, but also mentally as well.
And also, momentum, a huge part of this. Patrick Allen started the day, and all he's done is roll all day long on that left side. No one's been there bugging him. I want to remind you that the PBA and H&R Block have teamed together on a nice new promotion. Go to PBA.com, sign up to win tax services for 5 years and a $5,000 preloaded H&R Block Emerald Prepaid MasterCard. H&R Block, the official tax services provider of the PBR. H&R Block, you've got people. Yeah! Yeah, Hoss! An opening 3-bagger for the lefty. He opened with 5 in a row in match number 2 versus Chris Barnes, which really got him going off to that 267 that he concluded with. The lead at 21 as we begin the 4th.
Come on, Hoss. Come on.
A lot of self-talk. That's packed. I mean, that's just packed. 1, 2, 10 back, 4 in a row. Or 4-bagger.
A what bagger?
4-bagger.
Never heard of it. Malott has gone strike, spare. Here he is in the 4th.
Come on.
He needed that. Needed that one to try and quell the momentum of Allen. And Malott, initially not all that crazy about today's oil patterns.
I don't know that I really like the idea of it too much, even though I figured I would probably do fine, because I do like to look at myself as a pretty versatile player, and I don't want to be the one-hit wonder on this pattern or that pattern or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I take that with stride and go on and do my best at the moment.
He has been Mr. Versatility this season. Throw a pattern at him, and he'll throw a strike right back at your face.
He's using a silver streak on the right lane. He's using a cell on the left lane. That's kind of like using a marble and a charcoal briquette.
Bring some this way.
Some of the good juice falling the Malott way now. And you need 1 or 2 of those to win a title.
But did you hear what I said earlier? That he's kind of like using a marble on the right lane and a charcoal briquette on the... You didn't say anything. You didn't comment on that, so...
Do I have to comment on that?
Well, I just want to make sure you're
cleverness,
with me.
I mean, I would be tired if I commented on how astute your comments are all day.
I just wanted to make sure you were with me.
No, it's awesome. Briquettes, marbles, good. Yahtzee!
Wow, this guy's just got his foot on his opponent's throats, and he's not letting up.
Second consecutive game he has started with a 5-bagger. Had 9 strikes in match 2 versus Barnes. A Yahtzee and a ham bone on the backside from 267.
Remember, it wasn't long ago that this man right here was Player of the Year.
Sit right there.
Yeah! Drop it, give me 10! Malott, Allen, the conclusion when we return, the winner to roll for the PBA's first title of the new year, and Allen sits with a perfect game right now. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson back here with you in Reno. Wes Malott may be on top of the Player of the Year points list, but he is in a 41-pin hole right now to the lefty, Patrick Allen. Fire up the RV. Let's hit the road with the PBA. Next stop, the Bear Earl Anthony Medford Classic, Lava Lanes in Medford, Oregon, one of the tour's favorite destinations. Although it's not all that easy to get to.
What do you have, a triple connection?
Yeah, I'm going to talk to my travel agent about that one. After that, the H&R Block Tournament of Champions from the beautiful Red Rock Resort and Lanes in Viva, Las Vegas, where Norm Duke will be going for an unprecedented 4th consecutive major title. We had time to talk to Norm this week. He is really focused already on that TOC. Here's your Flomax Wes Malott weekly update. Again, 300 games rolled this week, both of them from the Big Nasty. Big Nasty's probably going to have to be close to perfect from here on out to knock off Allen. Whoa. Whoa.
Something have to be right there at my feet. You know I was going to. At my feet. And right at it.
I thought that one was lost for a second.
My gosh, Wes.
My knees buckled.
Well, he was distracted by the jib and inadvertently threw one a little bit wide and a little bit fast. So, and he knows what the score is, and he knows how well PA is bowling. And, you know, you said that he almost has to be perfect from here on out, and I bet you that Wes was probably thinking the same thing.
He's also been thinking about that Player of the Year honor. He admitted, you know, it is in the back of my head. It's not up front, but it's there. It's lingering. And he admitted, you know, it's probably kept me going a few times this week. There were some points where I definitely kind of kept plugging away, and you know, he admitted maybe this is the reason I'm making more and more shows is because I now have that little carrot out there that's pulling me in and making me better each week.
But in as great as he's bowled this season, he's made 5 telecasts. He's only won once. That's just how difficult it is to win out here. When you look at your tournament leader, Walter Ray Williams Jr., who's won 45 times. I mean, it's just staggering. And, you know, Wes is bowling as good as anybody out here, leading the Player of the Year race. He's a great, great player. He only has 4 wins.
And folks were saying, though, if Malott wins this week, he's starting to pull away. Allen for 7 straight. Yeah, Hoss!
Well, front 7, Patrick Allen. Distinctly remember a left-hander in this very building bowling, dare I say it, a perfect 300 game. Parker Bone III back in May of '98.
There have been 2 perfect televised games rolled here in Reno.
Do you know who the other guy was?
Are we on the verge of 3? Do I have time to go look at my cheat sheet?
Mike Miller.
I was going to say Mike Miller.
Without using his thumb.
Without using his thumb was the additional note I was going to add.
Oh, God, get away with one.
Does not get away with it in the 8th.
The kiss of death. You know, the PBA should give me like half of the $10,000 300 game bonus.
That's right, $10,000 bonus if you roll a perfect game on television. You're right, we're saving them tons of money.
Yeah, because all you have to do is mention it and somebody does that. Just a little bit inside of target. Patrick Allen, no worries, only leaving the 6-pin in complete control because the best Wes Malott can shoot is 247, and Patrick Allen's already in the 250s.
Here's what's scary. He's getting better every game. A 218 in match 1 versus Bill O'Neill. A 267 in match 2 versus Barnes, and he's probably going to come close to eclipsing that. So here's Malott working off a strike in the 8th. Down 52 pins.
That's nice.
Hard to believe that ball can't knock all 10 down at that velocity and that angle, but
real nice.
Wes Malott leaves the kind of the mixing half week 10, and his chances are all but finished here at the bowling stadium. Now they're pretty much finished.
Yeah, that's toast. The good news for Malott is he can pack his bags and head to Medford, Oregon, where he is the defending champ.
It's not a bad consolation prize.
See our other finishers and some of the big names from the top 50 list. 8 of them, in fact, with some tremendous finishes this week here in Reno. And this is not an easy venue for success.
Yeah, for years the players felt like it was a left-handed cathedral, but I think that's evened out over the years. And
What you can do when you're bald and make it up the hill.
Ryan Schaefer has made it clear that this is his least favorite place to bowl.
Ryan Schaefer with the last televised 300 game.
And but you know, Patrick Allen loves it here. So he's putting on a clinic, Rob.
Yeah, another strike for the southpaw. And that trophy may be inching its way towards Hoss, Patrick Allen, but he is going to have to get through the man who's either the greatest bowler or the second greatest, depending on the voters and everything else. We'll find out. Do we unveil it next week who number 2 is, or are we going to hold off till Vegas? I don't think we've decided, but we know who the 2 finalists are. Earl Anthony, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
That's how you feel, right?
PA is on tear. Three straight victories here from the 4 spot for Patrick Allen. Next up, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Well, another 260 game, and he's mowing opponents like he's a Dixie chopper right about now. And Walter Ray's watching anywhere in the building. He knows that he's going to have to throw a lot of strikes to beat Patrick Allen in the title match.
But you're not going to intimidate Walter Ray Williams Jr. It's like, whatever. Next. PA takes care of the spare. So a 268. Yes, he was able to eclipse his 267.
Thanks, guys.
So Malott still in the Player of the Year points leader lead. The man just behind him is about to take to the wood. Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Boy, it's so easy when it doesn't matter. Pressure's a funny thing, Rob, but that's what makes sports fun.
268, 215 advantage. Hoss.
Yeah, Hoss!
Patrick Allen. A 218, a 267, and now a 268 to roll him into the final to take on that man, the living legend, Walter Ray Williams Jr. The Geico Championship recap and a preview when we return. We welcome you back on a beautiful day here in Reno, Nevada to the National Bowling Stadium Championship. And our thanks go out to Bob Thomas, the operations manager here at the NBS. That's what those in the know call it, the National Bowling Stadium.
Yeah, Hoss.
Take a look at our H&R Block Series points. We got a little West Coast swing going on here over the next 6 events. PBA players will be competing in a separate point list sponsored by H&R Block. The point leader at the end of the 6-week H&R Block West Coast swing will receive 5 years of tax preparation and a $5,000 preloaded H&R Block Emerald prepaid MasterCard. And you see listed the 6 events that comprise the swing. Time now for our Geico Championship recap. Randall?
Okay, Rob, match number 1, Bill O'Neill, Patrick Allen. Patrick Allen first hit in the 10th to seal the deal. Then in match number 2 against Chris Barnes, Patrick Allen stuffs it.
Stop it!
Chris Barnes misses a 7-pin. Patrick Allen wins 267 to 236. Then in the match you just saw, yeah, Hoss!
Right there.
268 to 215 against the Big Nasty.
PA with 9 strikes in that one, including an opening 7-bagger. He's going to need that kind of start to try and get by Walter Ray Williams Jr. Is getting loose, getting warmed up for his crack at career title 46. The title match in its entirety when we return to Reno, Nevada. Walter Ray Williams Jr. Is he the greatest bowler this planet has ever seen? It's a great debate, but he's hitting the wood when we return.
The Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour on ESPN is brought to you by Etonic, the official footwear of the PBA. By Denny's, where America's favorite breakfast is now available to go. Real breakfast 24/7. By Geico. 15 minutes could save 15% on your car insurance. Visit geico.com. And by Lumber Liquidators. Hardwood flooring for less.
Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, welcoming you back to Reno as we take a look at the updated Stepladder bracket, and Patrick Allen is all over it. PA from the 4 spot has moved on to the title match to take on Walter Ray Williams Jr. and WRWJ has had success in this venue before. Go back to 2004, winning the USBC Masters in his 39th title. Now Walter Ray looking for career title 46. Patrick Allen looking for his first victory of this season. Walter Ray already has 1 title. He won in Hammond, Indiana at the Lake County, Indiana Golden Anniversary Championship, that back in early November.
And Rob, I don't think it's any surprise that Walter Ray, being the #1 seed with choice of starting lane, chooses to start on Shark and finish on Cheetah.
Again, 2 different oil patterns being thrown at the best in bowling today.
Yeah, the biggest number that sticks out to you when you look at Walter Ray is, well, the amount of TV finals that he's made, and it's actually 170 if you count his doubles TV shows, but over $4 million in earnings.
The D-League, brother.
Another opening strike for Hoss.
D-League plays across the street.
He's only averaging 251 in 3 games, Rob. That's,
come on, pick it up, PA.
That's pretty good, considering he's bowling on 2 completely different oil patterns.
A 218, a 267, and a 268.
Come on. Stay under it.
Back-to-back jacks.
Right out of his hand, he yelled, "Oh yes!" And Rob, if you recall the tournament before we went to break in Baltimore, Wes Malott shoots 290 in his first match, only to lose to Reno Page without even bowling another 200 game. And I think it's because he got complacent and he lost his edge. Patrick Allen doesn't look like he's lost his edge.
Nor does this man, Walter Ray Williams Jr. In his 27th year on the tour, opens up with a 2-bagger, and a little added incentive in this match for Walter Ray Williams Jr. Should he win, he would surpass Wes Malott in the PBA Player of the Year point race. Right now, Walter Ray Williams Jr. sitting 6 points behind Wes.
Yeah, that ball's not going to hold right there, because that's the area that the guys that actually hook it have been throwing it in. For that ball to lay off there, I think that's asking an awful lot of it. The guys with the higher rev rate's been throwing it kind of into that spot.
Again, 2 separate oil patterns that they're dealing with here, and Walter Ray had an interesting comment to us yesterday. He said, you know, a couple times I started to pick up my wrong ball, walk to the lane, and like, oh yeah, 2 oil patterns. Let's get back and regroup here. And as he said, he's using my hookingest ball. Is that even a word? Hookingest ball on the shark pattern, and then the straight, shinier ball
Come on.
cheetah.
Come on, Hoss. Come on.
Hookingest.
Yeah, it's.
I like it.
It doesn't exactly flow off the tongue.
Doesn't roll.
Yeah, flow or roll or really anything.
This guy's
Three in a row.
This guy's on a roll, huh?
Again, we are with you for the entirety of this title match.
And
no
Rob,
commercial breaks.
excuse me, Robin, I don't think I can stress enough of how much talent it takes to do what Patrick Allen's doing, in that
Under it.
he has to throw a ball a certain way on the right lane, on the cheetah
Under it.
pattern. Then he has to switch gears, go to a different ball, and throw it a different way on the shark pattern. Well, he's doing it brilliantly.
He has been fueled by great starts all day long. Looking for another one. Peel a little. And another wonderful jinx on the part of Rob and Randy. Lefty leaves the 7.
Just a little long down the lane, comes in just a bit late.
Got a little better than that. Come on.
Especially against this guy.
Come on.
Stay under it. There you go.
Gets the spare. Walter Ray Williams Jr. will step up.
Come on.
Walter Ray fired up the motorhome solo for the trip from Ocala, Florida here to Reno. Took him 3.5 days. Told us, listen to a ton of rock and roll, Paul Harvey and Lake Wobegon. Clear head, no wife, no kid on him this week. And nudges up against the 7.
This tournament was really close all the way up until the last game, the position round game. Only 4 pins separated 3rd through 6th. Norm Duke getting knocked out late. Walter Ray dominated this event.
Takes care of the spare. Well, the top 50 countdown is down to its final 2. Where does Walter think Walter belongs?
I wouldn't be disappointed at all being number 2. In fact, I'd probably be a little bit more shocked if I was number 1, because like I said, I kind of think Earl's career was a little better than mine. His stats percentage-wise, you know, I think he bowled less than 400 events, well maybe 400, a little over 400 to count the Masters, and I'm well over 600. So if you look at it from that point of view, his career is a little bit better.
Well, we'll find out in the coming weeks who is number 1 and number 2. And there'll be some debate before, during, and after.
Yeah, and I think that's very gracious of Walter Ray to say that and take nothing away from Mr. Anthony. He was phenomenal, the most dominant player quite possibly of any era. But Walter Ray's been so good for so long through a lot of different eras and changes in this sport.
Walter Ray started with a 2-bagger. Since then, it has been 3 consecutive spares, and you're not liking exactly what you're seeing from Walter Ray Williams Jr. right now.
No, because he went 4-pin the first time after the strike on the left lane, and then he went 4-pin, and he came back to the left lane and went light and left the 2-4. It's a bad sign.
There's a worse sign.
Yeah, this guy's not going to miss the joint. He's just zeroed in, locked and loaded, and now he's just making great shots. And now he's got himself in that mental mindset that he's just going to destroy his opponent.
29 strikes for him today so far. 7 in match 1, 9 in match 2, and again in match 3, and already 4 strikes through the first 5 frames here in the championship match.
Come on.
The National Bowling Stadium Championship.
Maybe. Yeah, he was right. Maybe. Just a little firm. That's it. But again, everything in the pocket.
That would have been a big strike. That would have created some nice breathing room for PA.
Yeah, and especially when it looks like Walter Ray is going to struggle a bit on the left lane. But, you know, if there's one thing that I've learned over the years of being a touring player and then doing television, there's one thing that you just don't want to do, and that's let Walter Ray hang around.
All right,
you take him out when you can take him out.
And you know PA knows that.
Yeah, if you're a touring player
and you
out
don't
here
know that,
and you don't know that,
you got issues.
Yeah.
And you can tell right there. He knows that he took that foot off the throat just enough to let Walter catch a breath. Walter on the right lane with the cheetah oil pattern right now here in the 6th frame. Need we say more? He feels somebody breathing up his back.
Well, and the next shot coming up on the left lane with the shark pattern is going to be the big shot because he went high then light. He's not locked in on that lane, and that's going to be the tricky lane. Walter Ray only has 2 more shots left on this left lane.
It's been tough for PA too. Both spares on that shark lane.
Well, in the week 10 is a result of the 44 feet in length. Walter Ray not having a very high rev rate. He does have angle, but it's hard for him to get his ball to hit hard enough. This looks pretty good. It just needs to pick up just a little bit more. Doesn't do it, leaves another week 10.
You also didn't see that trademark walk away to the right on the release of Walter Ray. When you see that, you know he's got good feelings.
Yeah, it's like he was a little unsure, a little hesitant, and sure enough, flat 10. So he's right now going to process all of this information, try to get 1 strike on that left lane. He's only got 1 shot left, and try to make a match of this and hope that PA doesn't strike out from the 7th frame on.
Great stadium seating venue here at the National Bowling Stadium. PA in the 7th. Stuff it!
Well,
he needs to get that attitude back a little bit.
And you look at it, he looks kind of relaxed. Inside, you know, his mind's going 1,000 miles an hour, but he's taking a re-rack. He's going to make sure that he doesn't rush. He's going to regroup. He knows he has to throw this next shot a little bit slower. But this is the Southpaw Express today, man. He's just mowing guys.
Now he moves over to the left lane with the shark pattern. The last 2 frames on that pattern have been 9 spares for him, and both times it was the 7-pin that did not drop. Looking for his first victory of the season. If he wins, it'll be a title, at least one in 6 consecutive seasons.
Maybe.
Yes!
What another great shot by Patrick Allen. Here, take a look. He likes the right lane, Rob. You know, I mean, it's just really hard to describe because, you know, both lanes look the same on television. It's really hard to explain or describe just how different both lanes are. Walter Ray is using a shiny response on the right lane. He's using a sandblasted insane on the left lane. Both balls made by Mo Rich. This ball here hooks at your toes. He can't get it to hook enough on the left lane.
There we go. In the foundation frame, that's when you need it.
Well, Patrick Allen's in the 220s. Walter Ray can strike out for 236. Patrick Allen obviously in the driver's seat. He can strike out for 259. It's all going to come down to the 9th and 10th frame for Patrick Allen in search of his 11th title.
No.
No is right.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves now. Walter Ray Williams Jr. gets to finish on his good lane.
Can I have that put back on spot?
There was a pin that rolled over and hit the 4 pin and moved it off spot. He asked for it to be put back on spot. They don't respot that because the machine didn't do it. It was actually moved by a pin. That does not get to be reset or put back on spot. Makes this spare a little bit tougher.
Play the rank, bro.
That was close.
Yes. Yes, it
Now you made it
was.
hard on yourself. Now you gotta work.
All right, so Patrick
work.
Allen
Now
can
you gotta
strike
work.
out for 236.
Come on.
Walter Ray can strike out for 236.
That means something, doesn't it?
We have the possibility of a tie, my friend.
Like it.
Patrick Allen using a hammer vibe on the right lane. Very smooth, very straight. On the left lane, he's using a Storm Rapid Fire that's very aggressive and very angular. Right now, he's just trying to make 3 pure shots. Look at it. And that looked high right out of his hand, Rob. And right now, he's in jeopardy of losing this tournament. Isn't it amazing? Just like that, you think Walter Ray doesn't have a shot. He catches a double. A couple of errant shots by Patrick Allen. And Walter Ray can double in the 10th to win this tournament.
PA needs to keep the pressure on with this single pin conversion.
Big fill ball here, bro.
And a strike.
This is big. This is really big.
Sit and
really
watch.
gotta feel good here, man. Let's do the last two like you know what. Come on. God.
Patrick Allen strikes here. He'll shoot 225. Walter Ray would need the first strike in the 10th frame. 9 spare would create a tie. 2 in the 10th. Walter Ray wins.
Come on. Maybe.
Yes! Pressure applied. 225 for Patrick Allen. He will take a seat.
Walter Ray still needs the first strike. Anything less than the first strike, Walter Ray loses. Has to have this one.
I don't know if he saw something down lane.
Well, the only time Walter Ray ever does that is when there's some type of distraction going on. I don't think I've ever seen Walter Ray balk.
Again, this a mandatory strike for Walter Ray Williams Jr. Got it!
Arguably the greatest ever, one strike away from winning his 46th title.
One more, just like that. 9 spare equals tie. And a roll-off. For tour title number 46 of his illustrious career.
No! Oh my God, that's a loser! He just lost the tournament!
You do not see reactions like that from Walter Ray Williams Jr. PA is barely in sight of our cameras. He is that far away.
Oh my God, he 8-10 on Shark.
Wow. Put the pins on spot, I guess, huh?
Well, he 8-10'd on Cheetah.
Yeah, anything I look at all game.
PA is a good 10 lanes to the right of Walter Ray Williams Jr. right now.
Rob, I'm speechless. I've never seen that ever. That was the last thing that I ever thought would happen. Maybe a flat 10, but not an 8-10. Wow.
Just when you thought PA had handed it just a little bit to the legends, Walter Ray gives it right back. Patrick Allen, with his first tour title of the season, now jumps from 15th to 4th in the PBA Player of the Year point race, just behind Malott, Walter Ray Williams Jr., and Norm Duke. He has now won a title in each of his last 6 seasons. A huge win from the 4 spot for Patrick Allen today in Reno. Next week, we pack our bags, head further west. Medford, Oregon for the Bear Earl Anthony Medford Classic. Live coverage next Sunday, 1 Eastern here on ESPN. A 218, a 267, a 268, and a dramatic 225 in his final match. Enough to beat the living legend Walter Ray Williams Jr. and deny Walter Ray tour title number 46 for Patrick Allen. That's his 11th Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title. What a way to start the new year. Yes! Yeah! For Randy Peterson and our entire crew, I'm Rob Soap. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Congratulations to the host, Patrick Allen.